Okay, you homos. So I'm in bed, going to sleep, and I decide to check on our YouTube channel and realize that Connor has already posted. So I decided that I would also contribute. I've avoided posting in the league for the last few hours now, because I'm just so annoyed at the lack of intelligence shown by all of you fellow league members. Um, when I first posted a few weeks ago upon the renewal of this year's league, uh, the idea was we were going to start at $24, um, and go down $3 per round, starting at the fourth round. Now, the amount of money that we were going to start at and the amount that we were going to decrease per round were completely subjective. Those were just numbers that I threw out there because I wanted to make it so that several people would actually keep their keepers. That's kind of the point. But as far as the model of decreasing per round, that has been established. It's very funny to me that people would say that that is not the case when last year we had very drawn out, long, specific conversations about the fact that no, we're not going to go auction draft this year. Yes, we are going to go auction draft next year. The way that we're going to translate is it has to be fourth round or later to keep a player, and based on how late you keep them, their price is going to be reduced. That was something that was very clear. I don't know how. I know that some of you know that this is the case. I won't name names, but some of you are very aware of this and you're pretending that you're not because you're either A, Danny, and you like to throw kerosene on the wildfires, or B, uh, you just want to win really bad and you're willing to go to any unethical lengths in order to beat me. Either one of those are not commendable actions or courses of action. Um, so I'm not going to type anymore and waste any more time writing about it. So I decided I'd just make a little video to clarify that. Now, by allowing for option number 2 with this 15% discount, I felt like that was a very nice compromise because now I'm saying, you know what? I'm the only one who should be able to keep the keeper the way I want because I'm doing it the way that we already discussed a year ago. But to be good-natured, to help out the league in general, I, as any good commissioner would do, you know, uh, made this second option available to the masses to be able to have their keepers whichever way ended up best for them. Obviously, by raising the 24 mark for fourth round that I had originally set to 30, was already a concession by myself. Then to allow the second option was a concession by myself, um, because it's not just about me and what I say. It's obviously open for the league to determine what we want to do, except for when we've already determined what we want to do. And as far as the decreases per round, that's set in stone. The amounts, those are completely debatable. I felt like 30 was a very fair marking point because it made it so McCoy's value would be about the same either way. So I thought that that was pretty fair. Um, I don't know how to make you folks, you know, come on board and realize that I'm not trying to screw everyone. I'm just simply fighting for what's already mine. I earned the right to have Arian Foster at a phenomenal price. I happened to have the best keeper. I got incredibly lucky. At the time when we determined that keepers would decrease based on the round you took them, I didn't own Arian Foster. Not only that, but Arian Foster was a running back number 2 on a pass first team. I got incredibly lucky. It happened to pan out. Other people's didn't pan out. I also drafted some other people that didn't pan out either. So at this point, I am asking that we just drop it. We go ahead and just stick by at least somewhat of our word and allow for the two option path. It's not going to make a difference. Um, that $6 of difference in value, or even if it was $20 of difference, really isn't going to change the course of who's going to end up to win a championship in our league. It would just be ridiculous at this point to rob me when, okay, so I happen to, pull out my fantasy predictive binoculars, and I was able to see the future and knew that Arian Foster and I would have a happy and bright future together. And I think that's something that at this point folks are just going to have to deal with. So I'm trying to put this out there in as diplomatic a way as I can. I hope that you guys can see that my intentions were not to screw you, although I do believe that some of your intentions clearly are to screw myself. There's no reason to vote. Obviously, 11 of you would vote to screw me. I would do the same if I didn't have Arian Foster, but it would be wrong, and what you're doing is wrong. So we forget it. We draft next Sunday night. It's going to be sweet. We haven't heard yet from a few parties that have decent keepers about who their keepers might be. If you run into Breck or there's a couple other people that haven't. The Fries haven't talked about who they'd like to keep. If you run into them, have them go ahead and post it, because whatever I don't enter as far as a keeper and their value prior to the start of our draft is they're not going to be able to be kept, because there's no way to regulate it after the draft begins. So best of luck to all of you, but hopefully some bad luck for you haters out there that are just typing away your lives every day trying to ruin my life when I have repeatedly justified my thought processes. Uh, it's just amazing. Anyways, especially Rio and Connor and Danny, and now you've convinced somehow Norm and Casey and Zach to also jump on your little wagon of death. It's like Cody and Danny and Rio from back in the day. They're just coalition of just blackness and ignorance. And now here you are, a coalition apparently 6 deep, and I can't even defend myself because I no longer live amongst the people to be able to really get my voice out there and have the minions post for me. So it's going to be an interesting turn of events this year, but I will not go quietly into the night. So we'll see you next Sunday.